Hi, I'm Danny, and I'm Gen Xer, and this is my daughter.
I'm Nala, and I'm Generation Z.
We've been debating which generation has the best games.
So I dared him to play some of our games.
And I dared her to play some of ours.
Which is why we started
I Dare You to Play. Here are the rules.
The game has to be one they have never played before or seen anyone play before.
So all of our comments and impressions are 100% fresh, first ever playthroughs.
And we have to have fun.
Please be advised there may be some language and or offensiveness.
Maybe?
Probably.
No. There will be lots of language and offensiveness.
Okay, so viewer discretion is advised?
Yes.
Alright, hi. So we found the original manual for Space Quest 1. So we thought we'd do a little bonus episode just to put some context on it, since it was like the 80s. And it has a little bit of more background information to set up the game. And we didn't have it when we first started recording the episode, so now we're just going to kind of go back and go through it briefly. And Nyla's giving me the whatever, Dad. But when we do the same thing for Space Quest 2, yeah, when we do the same thing for Space Quest 2, it'll make more sense because it kind of covers what happens between the two games and things like that. So I thought we would start making these like Episode 0 bonus tracks because some of their books are so funny. So welcome to the world of 3D animated adventure. Remember back in the 80s, this was all new. They talk about, well, here, a 3D animated adventure game that illustrates a story in which you are the hero. Stepping through an enchanted door into your computer, you become Roger Wilco, the main character. You can even rename him with your own name or any other name that strikes your fancy. Your own wits and imagination shape the adventure from start to finish. I mean, this was all brand new. The character's fully automated, but you move him around three-dimensional scenes, such as joystick.
Wait, they just started doing that?
Yeah, this was all new. Like, there weren't really games like that before this.
Okay.
Everything was like a 2D maze, right? And this one you could walk back and forth, you could hide behind things, you could go in and out of elevators. That was all new. Like Sierra and some other adventure games in the 80s, this was all brand new stuff. So they kind of have to prep you on like, hey, this is how you play a 3D game.
Alright.
So just to put the game in context, because I know like some of the controls were bulky and it wasn't great and it was a little buggy here and there. That's because it was brand new stuff. Like all the games you play now on the PlayStation or computer that's all like a 3D immersive world all came from these old adventure games. That's what makes it really fun. I'm not going to read that whole thing to you. We've been talking. I'm sure you've had plenty of time to read it.
Or you could just pause it.
Yeah, or you could just pause it. That's right. I will read this one, though, because this is actually setting up the game. Far beyond the reaches of known space lies a planetary system known to its inhabitants as Ernon. For many years, Ernon's sun has been slowly dying. The planets are growing cold and food is no longer plentiful. The beings of these ever-darkening worlds struggle to maintain daily balance of life. The only hope for Ernon's survival has rested in the scientific community on the governing planet of Xenon, which has been working for quite some time on a plan to convert one of the system's lifeless planets into a new sun. The effort has been centered around the development of a device called the Star Generator. The development team for the project has been stationed aboard the Space Lab Arcata.
Or I guess Arcata.
Arcata.
We
have been pronouncing it wrong, you're right.
The entire time.
It's sent to the outer edge of Ernon to further its research.
It's Ernon.
Ernon, sorry. You want to read this?
You literally just went past the pronunciation thing.
Yeah, well, I thought how did you pronounce it? Ernon, right?
It's Ernon.
What did I say?
You said Ernon.
Whatever.
Or something.
As always, you get the same witty banter from us. You, a lowly apprentice sanitation engineer. Oh my God, you're not even a full-blown janitor. You're an apprentice sanitation engineer.
Dear God.
Are employed on the Arcata Arcata in tasks requiring only the lowest security clearance. It is common knowledge aboard the Arcata that the scientists have just successfully completed the development of the first stages of testing of the Star Generator. Although still in the experimental stages, it appears to be fully operational. Triumphantly, the good news is flashed back to Xenon as the crew of the Arcata prepares for the trip home.
Whatever. We'll probably forget anyway by the end of this.
But the news does not travel far before it reaches unintended ears. Monitoring the Arcata's transmissions are Sarians, space pirates who cruise the galaxies wreaking havoc. once citizens of Ernan,
God.
the Sarians were banished long ago for their warlike ways. One would think they would have gotten over it by now, but apparently they still hold a grudge.
I heard them.
The Sarians' immediate intent is to capture the Star Generator and bring it aboard the battlecruiser Deltar. With the Star Generator in their possession, the Sarians would have the ultimate weapon with which to be revenged on the civilization that ostracized them so long ago. They plan to unleash its awesome power on Xenon, destroying all life there and bringing the rest of Ernan to its knees. The day of reckoning has now come as the massive battle cruiser swings into attack position. As your adventure begins, it's only it's almost over. As your adventure begins, you are currently conducting one of your famous on-shift naps in the janitorial storage closet.
Which, if you've been watching this, you already know.
Yeah, suddenly you are rudely awakened by explosions that rock the ship. This does not amuse you, as your dream was just getting interesting.
Darn it.
Immediately, the alarm system is activated, and an announcement comes over the intercom that Sarian troops have boarded the ship. For your hiding place, from your hiding place, you hear laser blasts mingled with screams of your crewmates. With a well-developed sense of self-preservation, you decide to stay put for a while. Soon the commotion dies down, and you get brave enough to take a look outside. You crack the closet door and peer into the corridor. Your eyes fall upon a grisly sight. Several of your fellow crew members lie dead on the floor. A group of Therians, apparently admiring their handiwork, are close enough for you to touch them. You breathe a sigh of relief as they move off. Although you aren't used to doing a lot of thinking, your job doesn't usually require much. Now your brain cells are working furiously. It is obvious, even to you, that their objective must be the capture of the Star Generator. You're no hero. To leap out and try to stop these murderous marauders would cost you your life and gain nothing. But to hide forever in the closet would also be pointless. You are bound to be discovered eventually. You must somehow escape from the captured vessel. Before you leave your sanctuary, you have one last thought. You need to find a way to render the Star Generator inoperative in the Sarians' hands. Perhaps some clue as to how to do this might be found somewhere on the Arcata.
Ah, there you go.
Because although you're not anxious to throw your life away, neither are you willing to see the entire galaxy under the rule of those fiendish, evil Sarians. Little do you imagine the adventures in store for you as you prepare to risk your life for the freedom of the entire universe.
I don't think the universe deserves it.
and then it goes on to say, like, here's tips for you. Say, like, look, explore, draw a map. A lot of the things I was telling Nyla, talk to people, pick things up, use things. Be careful, save your game often, right?
May the farce be
may
with you.
May the farce be with you. Yep, don't get discouraged.
Way to avoid copyright.
Or you can buy the Space Quest Handbook for $7.95. Sorry, Buckasoids not accepted.
Darn.
so anyway, that was it. That was the whole book. Just for historical reference, I wanted to go back and just kind of post this as a, hey, look, here was the original book, and here's how they set up the game before we actually started playing. Sorry that took like a whole 8 minutes, but there you go. Thanks. We hope you're still watching the show, or at least you get a kick out of this. And we'll try to post the next book, because it's a lot more comprehensive and a lot more funny before Space Quest 2. So we'll see you at the next episode.
Yep.
Bye.